Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to our group presentation. For our presentation, I'm gonna introduce myself and the team members. So, let me get started. Hi, my name is Muhammad Siddiqur Rahman. I am from Team Awesome, and over there is Habibur Rahman. Next to him is Nopa Islam, and next to her is Nasiruddin Ahmed. Today's presentation is about autism. I hope this presentation will move you, entertain you, and most definitely inform you. So, here I go. Do you know what is autism? Anyone? Okay. Let me know you about autism. Autism is a neurodevelopment disorder, a mental condition present from early childhood, characterized by great difficulty in communicating and forming relationships with other people and in using language and abstract concepts. It is the third most common development disorder. It is more common in boys, as typically it can be found in boys 4 times than in girls. Swedish doctor Eugen Bliller used the word autism for the first time in 1911. In 1940, researchers in the US began to use the term autism to describe the children with emotional or social problems. The full meaning of autism can be always unique, totally interesting, sometimes mysterious. There you see, the picture is describing the full meaning of what is autism. So, we came to know about autism. Let's move on to our next slide. The reasons behind autism. It's a very important task, maybe, because if we know the reason behind autism, then you can understand why autism occurs. So, it has some reasons behind it. So, let's look at the reasons. The first one is genetic factors. Genetic factors is the main cause. There are several genes in our chromosome. Factor is supposed to be the unit of genes. So, if the factors are not okay, then autism can come in. The environment inside the uterus, where the unborn child is developing, is called the parental environment. The mother and fetus are connected by a temporary organ called the placenta. So if the environment function doesn't work properly, then autism can happen. Vitamin D is very important for immune system. Lack of vitamin D can cause autism. There are 23 pairs of chromosome in human. If the gene sequences is not perfect, then chromosome disorder can come into play. It can be another reason of autism. Taking harmful drugs during pregnancy is another cause of autism. Drugs hinders the development of newborn child. It also affects the DNA of a child. The last but not the least cause is children born to older parents. So, we came to know about the reasons behind autism. Let's move on to our next slide. It's all about Autism Facts. Just look at the slide and I'm going to describe you. Autism is a complex neurobehavioral disorder. National Autism Association.org explained that boys are as likely to be diagnosed with autism compared to girls. Autism isn't affected by race, region, or socio-economic status. 40% children having autism can't speak. 1 in every 88 children have autism. It's around the world. There is no vaccine to cure autism. Early prevention is the key. Autism costs a family around $600 in a year. Scientists are working and researching about autism. They are looking for the specific genetic factors. If they can discover it, maybe there can be a way. So, moving on to our next slide, it's about the autism level. Autism level is an important term to define an autistic child. Look at the picture in our slide. The picture is called autism spectrum. Spectrum is used to classify something in terms of its position on a scale between 2 extreme points. Autism spectrum is used to classify autism level. We can divide autism in 2 categories. The number 1 is called high functioning autism. Number 1 has some classifications. Number 2 is called classic autism, the color between orange and green indicates that children having autism can have extreme abilities in some areas. If the percent of purple color is less than the percent of color is less, then what happens? Just look at the picture. The autistic children may have better IQ or above average IQ. If the percentage of purple color is in the high range, then autistic children may have average IQ. If the percentage of purple color is in the mid range, then autistic children have mid learning disability. If the percent of color is just under blue, then the children may have moderate learning disability. If the color is deeply yellow, then it is called severe learning disability. It is also called classic autism, and it is mostly the case around the world. Moving on to our next slide, it's about the signs of autism. There are several signs on autism. Let's look at it. There are some symptoms by which doctors can detect autism. The symptoms can found in bigger, appears distressed or unaware of other people or what's going on around them, doesn't know how to connect with others, play or make friends, has trouble understanding or talking about feelings, doesn't seem to hear when others talk to him or her, doesn't share interests or achievements with others, avoids eye contact, reacts unusually to sights, smells, textures and sounds, repeats the same actions or movements over and over again, no 2-word phrase by 24 months, no gesturing and no reflex work. So now we have known about the definition of autism, how it occurs, the symptoms and the signs of autism, the level of autism. So now it's turn to my group member Habibur Rahman to carry on the presentation. Habibur, it's your turn. Hello everyone, I am Habibur Rahman, and thanks my fellow teammates Sadip to give me the chance. Now I'm gonna start my presentation part. In the previous slide we saw the signs of autism. Now I am going to tell you when the symptoms will appear. The symptoms may appear between 12 to 18 months after the baby is born. Symptoms of autism are usually noticed first by parents or other caregivers. Sometimes it can take up to 3 years. Signs of the disorder can be difficult to identify or diagnose during infancy. Sometimes a child with autism will start to talk at the same time as other children the same age, then lose his or her language skills. Parents also may be confused about their child's hearing abilities. It often seems that a child with autism doesn't hear, yet at other times he or she may appear to hear a distant background noise, such as the whistle of a train. During the teen years, the patterns of behavior often change. Many teens gain skills but still lag behind in their ability to relate to and understand others. Moving on to our next slide. Now we will look at an interesting slide. The slide will show you a graph which will give you a clear idea about the brain response of a normal child and an autistic child. On the left side of the screen, if you look, the graph is indicating the responsive activity of a normal child followed by an autistic child. The blue color is indicating the response time of a normal child, and the orange color is presenting the response time of a autistic child. At first, look at the orange curve. At first look at the blue curve. The blue curve is the orange curve is not very smooth. It is fluctuating. The curve suddenly stopped, but the blue colored curve is nicely controlled. It is increasing and decreasing at the same rate, so it shows the difference. Now look at the right side graph. The right side graph is indicating the head movement. Normal child can move his or her head in a quick amount of time and has his or her control. But if you look at an autistic child, then you'll find he or she takes more time to move his head, as his reflex is not perfect. And if you look at the brain. Moving on to our next slide, it's about statistics. Just look at the two statistical graphs in this slide. Look at the left side. It represents the percent of autism around the world. Autism rate per 10,000 children. In the United States of America, the percent is really way too high. 160 children. Oh, it's like a skyscraper. During the 90s, the percent was below, but in recent times, the percentage is growing vastly. It's not maintaining any kind of bound. Now, look at the right side. It shows the picture of our country, Bangladesh. In 2011, the percent was 2%. In 2012, it was 3.5. In 2013, the rate crossed 4.5. Still, it is increasing. The situation is putting a question mark in our minds. Now, there you go. The next slide is about the present situation of autism. The present situation of autism is really mixed. Autistic children are mostly neglected. Many people think it's a curse. They think autistic child is a burden. They deserve good care, mainly special care, but most of the time they are not treated in a good way. Sometimes their parents don't want to take them outside. They are confined within the four walls. Sometimes they don't get their rights. It's horrible. No freedom, no friends, no own life. Just imagine this kind of life. Can you lead this sort of life for an hour? I don't think so, but they lead this sort of life for years and years. So we have come to know several things. Now it's turn for my fellow teammate Nopa Islam to carry on the presentation. Nopa, there you go. Thanks, Habibur. Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Nopa Islam and I'm gonna carry on the presentation right from here. So from the previous slides we came to know several things about autism. It's time to know the treatment of autism. We know that there is no cure of autism, but if we can provide good treatment for the autistic children, then we can make their lifestyle a little better. This slide is about the treatment of the autistic children. First of all, medicines. Medicines are used for treatment in autism. Doctors suggest special medicines. These medicines are not costly. Improving concentration level is the main aim. Next is schooling. There are schools for autistic children. These schools are also known as a special school. These schools have special methods to teach those special children. By teaching them, we can improve their mental condition. They will come to know what is good and what is bad. Next is counseling. It is very important. By counseling the children, parents can understand their difficulties. Professional counselors do this. Counseling the parents is also important. It gives them scope to realize the situation, the condition of their children as well. Medication treatment is also important. It helps them to concentrate. So by giving proper treatment, we can give them a better situation. Moving on to our next slide. It's about the therapy. Therapy is the attempted remediation of a health problem, usually following a diagnosis. In the medical field, it is usually synonymous with treatment. Therapy is important. Behavioral management teaches the autistic how to behave and self-control, which is very valuable. Educational and school-based therapies teach them some technical skills. It gives them mental and logistic support. Joint attention therapy teaches to communicate with others. Speech language therapy is for those who can't talk. But in autism, it is given to most of the autistic children. It helps to throw their speech perfectly. Social skill training is very important. It teaches them the skills like making friends, talking with others, gaining the attention of others, building friendly relationships. It also helps them mentally. So, not only treatment but also therapy can give them a good life platform. The next slide is about autism in the classroom. Classroom is a place where we learn something. We gain knowledge from classroom. Just imagine the first day at your classroom, then come back here. We do many educational activity in classroom. In an autism school or a special school, they also do the same thing, but the method is a bit different. They use visual aids, they use flashcards, colorful pictures to teach the special children in a special way. They also use comic strip conversations to communicate with the special children. It is very effective because if a child can't speak, then he answers his feelings by using a strip. Teachers also provide them with social stories. It creates a space of imagination in their innocent mind. They also teach social skills. They teach them a daily routine. They emphasize on making friends, especially making a friend circle to share their feelings and try to teach them that man is a social being. Moving on to our next slide. How to behave. How to behave, actually, it's the meaning. How to behave with the special children. Courtesy begets courtesy. There is a proverb. Your behavior towards them can make you better. Just try to behave normally with them. Don't let them think that they are abnormal or mad. Try to understand the feelings of them. Don't hit in their feelings. Try to communicate with them. Give them confidence. Give them courage. Spend much time with them. Especially, it's very important for the family members. Family members can play a bigger role to provide them a better life. Take them outside. Let them see the world in their own eyes. Make them think why the world is so beautiful. If we do these things, they will follow and it will help them to create their own personality. So, moving on to our next slide, it's about the development process of our autistic children. The growth and development of people is the highest calling of leadership. Development is very important for the autistic children because it gives them a scope to make his or her own way of life. In other words, we can rehabilitate them. If we can provide them vocational training, they can apply themselves in different sectors. By giving better treatment, we can develop their skills in areas autistic children can improve. We can teach them different creative works like painting, weaving, poetry, photography, printmaking, digital arts, woodworking, framing, culinary arts. By teaching this, we can use them in different purposes. It will give them job opportunities. They can contribute to the national finance as well. We can send them in different sports events like Special Olympics. So, we will have to give them scope and give them the focus. So we have come to know several things about autism. We know the behavior formats with them. It's now time for my fellow teammate Nasiruddin Ahmed to come here and carry on the presentation. So Nasir, it's your turn. Good evening everybody. I am Nasiruddin Ahmed from Team Awesome, and it's my turn to continue the presentation, and at first I want to thank Nopa for giving me the chance. Okay, here we go. My slides. The first slide is about the role of organizations. There are many organizations working for the autistic children, like Organization for Autism Research, Autistic Children's Welfare Foundation Bangladesh, and PROYAS. These foundations are working for special children. They work to protect their rights, creating awareness among common people, working for the development of those special children. Dr. Saima Wajid Hossain has made a great mark with her works on autism to put the neurodevelopment disorder on the World Health Organization's map. United Nations is currently working on autism. They have approved many research projects to let the world know about autism. The next slide is about creating awareness. So, I will discuss the importance of creating awareness. Creating awareness is very important because in our country the literacy rate is nearly about 50%, so almost half of our people are uneducated. They believe in many social and religious curses. They think autism is a tragedy. If there is autistic children in their home, they feel ashamed, so we'll have to create awareness to raise their positive attitude. Electronic media can play a bigger role in this aspect. They can telecast autism-related drama, news, handbills to create awareness among common people. We will have to take it normally. The next slide is about Autism Day. To make people conscious about autism, since 2008, Autism Day is observed around the world. The United States, the United Nations granted this day. April is announced the Autism Awareness Month, and the 2nd of April is known as World Autism Day. The slogan or the motto of World Autism Day 2015 was Implement the Autism Advantage. Moving on to our next slide, it's about the success stories. It is time for some success story to let you know. We know we have football or cricket team, but do you know we have a Special Olympic team? Bangladesh Special Olympic team gained success in recent times. This team consists of special players. In 2011 Special Olympic team, Bangladesh won 37 gold medals and total number of 58 medals. In the recent 2015 Los Angeles Special Olympic, they won 12 gold medals, including total number of 34 medals. It proves that if we give them opportunities, they can make us proud. They can take our flag high. Now, moving on to our next slide. It's a video, and we will watch the video clip now. And I'm sure you're gonna enjoy and you will understand. And I will gonna narrate this in English later on. So we have watched a video. In the video clip we saw a lady She is Siuli Shati. She was autistic. She couldn't talk properly, walk properly. She was neglected by people, but her parents sent her to school. She was given the scope. She became an athlete, joined the Bangladesh Special Olympic team, and guess what? She won gold medals for Bangladesh, taking the flag high. Make us proud. Now she works in a special school as a teacher assistant. This story proves autistic children are not a burden. If we give them scope, depend on them, they will give us feedback. So the presentation, now we came to know many things about autism, the facts of autism, the reasons behind autism, the definition of autism, how to behave with them, the development process of the autistic children. It's time to give a message to our audience. We want to give you the message that just try to accept autism, don't neglect them. Try to understand autism and love the autistic children. Because unity we stand, divided we fall. If we neglect them, then we cannot gain national success. So accept, understand, and love the autistics as well as autism. For references, we have used Wikipedia, YouTube, and United Nations website. Now I want to request my teammates to come here for the question answer segment, and if you have any questions you can ask us and we will try to give you the answers. So no query? Okay, thank you, and that's the end. And at the end I can tell you that now you know about everything about autism, and I think the presentation have moved you, entertained you, and informed you. So that's the end. Goodbye. Have a good day.